to see if there would be more participants later. So for the meantime, let's do some elevator music. All right. So thanks for waiting, everyone, and we're gonna start our event for today. So again, my name is Gracel. You can call me Gra. I'll be your host for today's event for No Code PH. So as you can see on your screen, we'll be talking about how do we become a citizen developer, or even what does citizen developer means, right? So we're gonna talk more about who's our speaker in a bit. But for the meantime, I'll pass you on to Crystal. So she's our founder here in No Code PH. That she'll be introducing what No Code PH is, what our missions, what our goals. So you'll know more about the community. So Crystal, I'll gonna be stop sharing my screen and I'll pass it over to you.
Hi. So again, my name is Crystal. I'm the lead for No Code PH, and I'd like to introduce our org before we start this event, just so you know what No Code PH is and what it's all about. So, as you know, technology depends on code, but there's a very, 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 very small number of people who can code. And because of this, there's a lot of limitations when it comes to code. So when it comes to innovation and progress, because of this fact. And so No Code PH aims to let people know in the Philippines about what no code and low code are, and how, and then teach them the skills and use no code and low code as an advantage. And then we also aim, of course, to support Filipinos in their no code and low code efforts. And so we are a duly registered nonprofit. And very important to note is we are a community-driven organization. We come from a wide range of backgrounds, industries, but we all share a common passion for no code and low code. And our mission really is to empower Filipinos to become citizen developers. And we are hoping to have a nationwide community of learners, professionals, and entrepreneurs, all using no code and low code. And our long-term vision is to have every Filipino to have the opportunity to thrive in a rapidly changing digital environment through the use of these no-code and low-code platforms and technologies. So our values are integrity, inclusiveness, innovation, and impact. And as of right now, we have more than 900 members. We've had a couple of challenges in Adalo and Glide. We've had 8 workshops, and 16 projects have been made by challenge participants, all built using no code. We've had 2 Philippine Startup Week events, and just last December, we had our first in-person event, our Christmas Mixer. So I'd like to invite you to become part of the movement. So be part of this No Code PH movement, in this no code movement in the Philippines. You may have probably joined us as a member in our website, but we will have more initiatives coming soon. So please stay tuned for that. That's it on my end. Thank you.
All right, thanks for that, Crystal. So we can now move on to knowing more about our speaker for tonight or for this afternoon. So, right, so his name is Paul Soliman, and he's the CEO and CTO of Hackative Collab Inc. So that's pretty cool. Like being a CTO and CEO. Maybe we can ask him later, like how does he manage to do that? But yeah, with no further ado, I'll pass it on to Paul, and probably let's get to know him a bit better.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Gracel, if I literally say it correctly. Thank you for Crystal and Sir Warren for this opportunity to talk about about the topic that I'm very passionate about. So yes, so I'm Paul. I'm the CEO and CTO of Haptic Collab. I'm a technopreneur, but a enterprise software architect by profession. So I run 2 other companies. Second is a Bayani Chain, which is a blockchain company, and third is Raven, which is PropTech. So I've been in the space for almost of my career since I graduated around 2009. So I've been doing business applications already. And I'm the first Filipino Microsoft MVP for business applications here in the Philippines. And so yeah, that's my introduction.
All right, thanks for that, Paul. So let's probably fire away with the some of the questions we have here for this afternoon. So yeah, you mentioned I mentioned earlier, like you're both the CEO and CTO of Hackative Collab. So I wonder how hard or easy it is to be both the CEO and CTO of a company. So we all know, like most of the time, it's like another person is the CTO, another one is the CEO. But in your case, you're both. So yeah, probably tell us more about that.
Sure, sure. So, I'm a technopreneur. So, in a way, technology first before business. That's, in a way, that's my mindset, right? It's not very hard if you're so passionate on what you do. In fact, I created Hackdev. We were conceptualizing it because, of a low code, no code community as well, because I created Biz Apps PH, which is focused on business apps plus our platform here in the Philippines and also in the APAC region, right? When we're doing that 2019, but pandemic hit us and there's a demand of many application, right? That specific month around April, I think that was March or April. So we were experiencing a lot of acceleration in terms of digital transformation, right? In fact, during April and March, we saw like 2 years worth of digital transformation consumed already, right? So technically, when we see the challenge, and again, as a tech guy, I'm open for really like creating solutions, especially for working from home, right? Created a low code no code solution using Power Platform via timekeeping, and then I open source it so anyone can use it. Um, so technically, because I founded the company, the vision is still being done by the CTO, right? But because of my tech background, I still need to be the CTO. And again, as I mentioned, it's not very hard if you really know your vision, and also in terms of business, because I implemented a lot of ERP system for every client. So I know how to read my books, my financial statement. So yeah. And of course, I have a few investors because I'm also active in startups. So in a way, I just currently, I promoted CTO already, but not with Hackdev, with my other companies, since in terms of the architecture for our client, I'll still do because that's my passion, right? I still do the checking of every architecture, even with deep tech and also, a citizen development focused project.
Nice. I mean, I kind of wonder if you're the next Elon Musk of the Philippines or
Uh,
something. Yeah, but yeah, that's very interesting because a lot of people. So this is more on like the startup that right. So they actually start with like business, then tech after. But for your case, it's like the reverse. Like I'm a tech guy, I'm gonna go to business, and yeah. And also with that said, you mentioned that you also promoted the no code movement as well in your own way, right? So, what are the challenges that you saw when actually, of course, there are lot of developers that are very traditional. Probably you might share that same like mindset before that. No, I'm a developer. I want to code everything, right? But low code and no code came, and there's this like no, parang ano elitista kind of stuff na what are the challenges there? Of course, because no code is fairly new in the tech space, and it kind of challenges the norm of like coding everything when creating a software. So yeah, maybe you can share something with that.
Sure, sure. So, well, I started exploring low code around 2015. So again, I'm in a way because I'm a Microsoft MVP. It's so Microsoft centric. We're doing Power Apps, right? So, but when I studied it further, it's really just coining and putting like this terminology that we call it today no code, low code, right? But when if you will imagine if you're a guy who does Excel Power Pivot, that's some kind of low code technology already to no code like macros, etc. So that time, of course, it's not yet cool that a person or a business analyst is saying, I'm doing this stuff, so therefore I'm doing low code, right? It's because there's no such thing as low code before, right? But we're doing it already, like configuring reports, right? Doing dashboards. Those are like, low code stuff, and can be done by a citizen developer, right? So 2015, we were like, creating advanced, app already using no code to low code system, since Microsoft in a way introduced us to do that. But to tell you honestly, I'm a developer in ever since. That was my background. I think I got I started my career in Starbucks Philippines. So some of the late well, one of my last project there before I left around 2013 to 14 is the Starbucks card. So anyways, I was doing this business application stuff already, like, the people process technology that we know right now, right? You build the process, then, the process, because in a way you're an accountant, but you cannot do the tech, right? Because you don't have a programming background. Let's say, for example, we're implementing Dynamics NAV, or let's say SAP. So technically, before I can just create my report, if you're familiar with Crystal report, right? So sometimes I needed a developer for me to be able to pull out some of the information that I need by just creating a simple invoice or something, right? So I know those challenges because we've been implementing ERP system back then, right? And a functional consultant or a business analyst can only just do some processes, but at the end of the day, they will not be able to turn that into a working prototype or application, right? So those are like a challenge in terms of, like, business people perspective. Like, I need a developer, right? I need a developer before I can just create a simple system. Now, come 2016, in fact, GitHub CEO said that the future of coding is no coding at all. It's not because of low code, but it's because of API, AI, etc. that we're seeing right now. It was from 2016. We know already that, somehow coding is not going to be like the coding that we know before, right? Or we knew before. So 2015, 2016, we're already accelerating, like, in an organization, let's say a big conglomerate. Instead of you hiring developers by, just creating an application for you to be able to get data and then explore this low code to no code technology. In fact, WordPress, if you may ask me, it's too they're too early in terms of, like, providing access to non-tech for them to create a website and many applications. It's just that the no code and low code terminologies are not yet created that time, but we're doing that already. So for me, the big challenge is when you're, like, introducing new technology, it's really the disruption and the mindset, right? They thought that, oh no, if I'm a developer, if I use no code, low code technology, I'm gonna be losing my job. In fact, well, it's not. Technically, if you're not gonna evolve, yes, you will lose your job. But it's more of like, as a developer, or we call it pro coders in this space. The pro coders should focus on a more deep tech, like AI, machine learning, etc., and then give the like, user driven application to the citizen developer, right? So that's the challenge, is the mindset and our perception of, like, am I gonna be disrupted if I promote, or or practice low code and no code to my company?
Right. Yes, it's very interesting because I have known WordPress for the longest time, and no code and low code just showed up like 5, 6 years ago, right? And like, oh, people, oh, this is new. We're not into it because we're like hardcore coders and that. But then again, you're right. No, kasi parang uh, the skills of the like hardcore developers would be much appreciated, yung effort nila towards like AI, machine learning, etc. That would enable like citizen development. So you before we dive into what citizen development is, I just want to uh, let the participants know that we have a Slido. I just posted it on the chat. So in at any moment, you want to ask something uh, from us, so please do go to that link, and we'll be reading your questions a bit later. So, all right, so let's crack on. And then, yeah, speaking of citizen development, so this is actually pretty new to me. I haven't heard citizen development before I joined No Code PH, which was last year. But again, the concept is not new. Like, I know like accountants, I know like government employees that do like this kind of stuff. But then again, it turns out na meron na palang term for it na citizen development or citizen developers. So again, for the benefit of those na uh, bago rin, especially me, bago din ako dito. So what are the how would you describe citizen development from siguro syempre compare and contrasting na. So we all know what development is right now traditionally. And also, what does citizen developer look like? So, does it mean that okay, I'm an entrepreneur and I want to create an application? Am I already a citizen developer? Something like that. But again, let's start off on what is citizen development.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Thank you for that, Grazel. So yeah, so citizen developer was coined by Gartner. It's a new word. I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, around 2017, 2018 when they released this term citizen developer, right? Because of these technologies that are ready for a normal user or a consumer to use a specific tool that can do or mimic whatever you do in, let's say, a mobile application development, right? So a citizen developer is a user, all right? We need to understand that it's a user. It's not a pro coder, meaning you don't have a tech background, etc., or you're not a coder. You have a tech background, but if you're not a coder, you can still be a citizen developer. But if I'm a coder, of course, I needed to be not be called a citizen developer because I do coding, right? So in an organization, there is like what we call the layers, right? So when I say layers, let's say, so this is like a technical explanation of it, then I'll go to the more, more easier explanation, I mean, for layman. But technically in application development, we always have the back end, right? Which is the database, which is usually that's the store, meaning when a store, you store data there. It can be file storage, it can be database, etc. Now we call there is another layer that we call the middle layer, which is your functions, right? Meaning when I say functions, this is how your system will run. It's the logic code. It's the base of the, when I press yes, then it goes to another page. So that's the function layer. And then next we have the UI layer, right? Which is where the user can see everything that needs to be pressed, click, etc. A, a database layer, of course, before it should be built by these technical people who knows how to do SQL, etc., etc. And technically, these data sets sometimes, if you go to the to get that to get those data from different sources, it's hard because you need to really do ETL or extract, transform, load, blah 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 blah. Then technically, if you're a user, which again, when I say a user, you cannot understand that without them giving you a complete data already, or we call it normalized data. Because technically, if I'm going to do that, if I'm an accountant or an Excel super user, I do VLOOKUPs, right? So that's the thing there. Now, a citizen developer is a user that capitalizes on that specific data set, right? Meaning, let's say, for example, I'm an HR practitioner. Of course, I don't know coding, but there's already an open table for me that was created by pro developers that has all the employee data. So in my code structure or low code, no code application that I'm trying to create, I don't need to normalize the data, meaning I can just pick the data that I want to show or manipulate or edit on that application. right? So technically, if you're a citizen developer, usually you don't need to go far away or go towards the back-end system. You just, capitalize whatever is in the back-end system. And because you're the process owner, you know what your app should be look like, right? So technically you can create your own application already. And the easier part to explain that is if you're like, creating an application, let's say, for example, in WordPress or Wix or whatever is that, and then you don't know what's happening in the background, then you're a citizen developer.
So with that said, what I'm thinking of, it's like parang you're a developer pero black box, right? Like everything else is black box. What you see is on your side.
Yeah.
But then yun nga siguro yung challenge dito is when you hear no code or especially no code, parang there's an understanding that or a misnomer na if you're gonna use no code, you don't need any coding skills. I would say kind of. Pero when I actually like started exploring the tools, it's pretty parang yeah, I don't need to code, but I need to understand that like how data works, like how API works, etc. etc. No? So with that said, no, so what are the possible like mga tools or mga bits of knowledges na kailangan natin para mas maging effective na citizen developer? Kasi if let's say ako, I would say I'm a medical professional and let's say I work in a clinic, I want to like organize yung mga medicines and all. So if I'm starting there and I don't know like how to do it, so what are the things that I need to learn first before I could successfully become a citizen developer? So
Sure, correct. So there are many tools right now, no? But for me, I encourage citizen developer or want to explore wants to explore that specific career, if I may use that word, is to be very like to analyze the fundamental or learn about the fundamental of like system creation. It can be design thinking or whatever, right? Again, as I mentioned, usually we debate about if Excel is a database or not, right? Then people are saying, no, Excel is not a database. Yes, that's correct. It's not really, but it's more of a data storage for me. So going to that specific notion of like you as a medical, let's say practitioner, and that you know how to use column and rows in Excel, right? So that's a start of me as a medical practitioner organizing my data, right? And without that knowledge of organizing my data, then I cannot go to the next level of creating my own application. Right? Since technically my practice of low code is of course revolves around Power Platform, right? It's really proprietary type of like things because it's owned by Microsoft, but it uses Power FX. So if you're using Excel, the formula that you say that equal A1 plus B2, then it's equal to the sum of this A1 and B2. It's exactly the same, like how you do it. In fact, I don't know if they're sugarcoating it, but they don't want to call it coding because you're just doing formulas, right? But those are logic. So I said you organize your data, that's the first one, for you to be able to fundamentally create an application because every application starts with a back end, right? There's no application that doesn't have a data storage. If you're doing that informational, it still gets from a data storage, which can be Notepad or whatever. Second is if you're trying to create an app, again, as I mentioned, there's an objective on what problem are you solving or what specific app is this for. You don't create an app just for you because you want to create an app, because you need a structure. And that one, those kind of like thinking are not super technical. You just need to have a guide and a direction. Okay, if I'm a medical practitioner, I want to create a patient app, all right, for my own consumption, because there's gonna be difference if you like put that outside, because that's gonna be super complicated, right? But let's say, for example, I just want to know the schedule of all the bookings that I have per customer, right? Or per patient. So of course, organizing the data, putting that data in Excel, right? Getting that manually from whatever source and creating your application. All right. So when you do that, you know already what to do, and it solves a lot of problem because in one single application or a web app, you can see already this all of your schedule, right? And yes, I can do that in Google, in Gmail, and Outlook. Well, that's technically why am I challenging you to see first how complicated the things that you want to do, because maybe you don't want to create another, application if you can do that inside Google or Outlook. But for the sake of discussion, let's say I need that. So technically, I have that already. So I know already the direction on what application I can create. So just knowing a formula. So there are different, in a way I can say function or logic, each specific, of course, application that you want to try and use. But let's say you go to let's say Power Platform, then it capitalizes on Power Effects, which is formula based on Excel, right? So as Grazel mentioned, it's not drag and drop only that you need to understand. It's because, again, as mentioned, you need to understand your data and how to pull it, right, and do it. But with the presence of AI technology running around this, in a way, background engine of this low code, no code technology, sometimes it's going to be easier. Like if you drag a table, it will automatically create a table already for you with the data that you need. Because of AI also, and big data, cloud computing, you don't need to think of like what's the primary key, etc., which is term for creating a table in the pro code scenario. So next, a third thing is, of course, knowing who's your user or where to publish it, right? So if that's my internal use, of course, I'm the user. So the colors, the behavior, the login, etc. So just go to an application and mimic that. Meaning, if you're doing Facebook, then it's supposed to be, if you're registering something, it needs a form, right? It needs to do that, to do that. Though, so again, every application has a different way of how to create that, but two things again, it's more of like organizing your data and learning how to create and what is this for the app that you're trying to create. Yeah. So that's very fundamental, to start.
Right. So actually, I got three things from that, also from the previous discussion. No. So one is to know your goal, as as again like no code. I think like really complements product practices. Then, kasi in product you have to know like your market, you have to know your users and all. So that's the first thing, no? Kasi parang uh, like you mentioned, you don't create an app randomly out of nowhere, diba? Well, unless you're Elon Musk and you have so much money. Pero the point is, if you're like doing something again, uh, basic problem solving, knowing your problem, what's the root cause, what muna, not just the how you solve it. And then the second one is actually you mentioned like if you're the business owner or process owner, you should know your stuff. Diba? Kasi kumbaga customer mo or user mo yung sarili. So again, this also challenges na how well do you know your profession, how well do you know your job. And these two things actually doesn't like has nothing to do with tech. Wala pa siya. So but the last point na nag-stand out sa akin would be yung sa data. So dito na papasok yung tech. Once you know your goal, once you know your process, like your story, and you have data, then you can start like creating the solution of your problem. So napaka in any kind of like development, low code man yan or yung like traditional coding, it doesn't matter if you're not solving the right problem. Again, parang I would see no code as like helping uh, solve the problem mas madali. Pero it's not an assurance na you're gonna solve all the problems if you don't know what you're solving.
Yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, me coming from like traditional development, so I was a QA, I was BA, and now Scrum Master. Pero what I realized is parang okay, for sure siguro familiar ka sa user story. Sa user stories. Yan. Favorite ng mga ano yan eh. So, pero there's a possibility na what if you can actually like solve your own user story, di ba? So, you know your goal, you know your process, you have data, you can solve your own problems. So, yeah, I mean, possibilities are endless actually for no code. And then siguro just to follow this discussion up, no. By the way, guys, I dropped the link on the chat for our Slido Q&A. So we're gonna go to those questions in a bit. So following up on the discussion of citizen development slash developers. So in this current space, especially dito sa Philippines, no, siguro what are the industries na you think that can leverage more than the others? No? Kasi possible na uh, other industries might benefit from it kasi maybe the maturity of the technology din, possible na hindi pa ma-reach itong ganitong level sa ibang industry kasi the technology is not there. Pero currently, no, on your perspective, what are the industries that you think can like maximize the use of no code and low code?
Good. Yeah. To be honest, because we have a lot of implementations already, na, so what I'm seeing is not really what specific industry should we focus on and that can capitalize this low code, no code technology. It's really how a specific company or what's the state of a specific company in terms of digital transformation. So we have a shortage of pro developers. Okay? We have a shortage of that. That's the reason why I also created my company, because I want Filipino people to be globally talented, right? Technically, because we have a shortage, the tendency is even big companies here in the Philippines, I'm saying conglomerates, etc., they don't have superpower to hire good developers already. And at the end of the day, you have a small budget project or small budget project, but have a big impact. You need to hire around, a developer who's in a way junior for you to be able just to create the UI, and the back end is still different, right? There's a lot of companies that is going towards, even small businesses that going towards innovating, right? Because of what happened in the pandemic, like remote access, remote work, COVID protocols, right? This COVID registration, etc. That we saw a lot, right? Now, as you can see, there are opportunities to each industry and to every company to really create their own low code and no code framework, or what they call it, parang team inside the company, because there's a need for them to, in a way, to innovate. Because if they don't innovate, there's going to be cost in terms of how they work today. Because as I mentioned, I think at least the other workforce, specifically for professional services, are still not going back to the office, right? We're still working from home, and there are some needed solution for you to be able to work to office, right? And even if you don't hire developer, just equipping the right tool for your let's say HR manager, or I can say employees, they can already create a low code, no code application. Let's say timekeeping, or output based work, like let's say registering my output per day, something like that. And this is like applicable to every company, even in manufacturing. Whatever a clerical task. So this is what the first this is what the first job that will be disrupted by AI. All clerical tasks, right? So in my blog, like in 2019, I was saying that if you don't want to be disrupted, then learn no code and low code. So that was my blog, since I'm seeing a lot in terms of a potential of a clerical position, let's say a receptionist, right? Creating its own automated logbook or digital logbook, right? Without a need of hiring a developer for you to create that. like just deploying a tablet inside your station, and then like create an application to get my time in, time out, my name, the ID, etc. And it's very easy to do in low code, no code, tools, right? Um, it's more of the question is how willing are we as a person to learn, right? To immerse in this new technology, and how willing are these companies to have a specific practice inside their company to create a low code and no code environment, right? But the need, it's gonna be in every industry because there's a lot of pain points and challenges that needs to be solved by technology. Again, we have a scarcity in terms of tech people, especially developers. And those are the opportunities. For a call center agent that wants to try low code and no code because you're passionate about it, to not getting a position, not getting the place of developer, but really going there and presenting yourself as citizen developer because you know how to read and write to the database and you know what problem to solve.
Right. So basically, it's not really depending on the industry, but on what kind of task you can like apply no code, no? Kasi I mean, just to share, no, yung sa current company namin, like basically literally everyone is a developer kasi like finance, underwriting, they know how to like pull and process the data from the database. And when we actually, it's really good. Parang this is where I see like the pro coders and no coders or citizen developers like really complementing each other. So like you mentioned, like pro coders enable the citizen developers to do their thing easily, and ang kagandahan nun is the pro coders don't really need to think that much about the business processes. I mean, they should parang at least 'di ba yung flexibility. But they don't need to parang like put in so much effort into kasi I would see the value of like being a citizen developer bridging the gap na there's like business, there's tech, but when you're citizen developer, parang somewhat siguro 70-60% ng tech, you can like get it on your own thing. So which leads me to our first question. So we're gonna answer probably one or two questions from the Slido. So right, I'm gonna pick this one. Itong sa third one. Do companies hire a citizen developer? How much is the acceptable salary for that? Okay, this is a juicy question. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, yes. Yeah, it's yes. Again, as I mentioned, it's more of learning a tool, right? Like when I say tool, it's learning a specific, let's say, if you want to learn about Power Platform or WordPress or uh, out system, etc. So it's up to you. But there is really a market, especially on these big companies. You will be surprised that they're not retrenching developers, but it's more of like the work of developers are being diluted already on this simple application or task. Specifically, if I saw a bank, even in their like queuing system, they're using low code, no code technology already. I mean, if you can see that if you know OutSystem, just go to that bank, the orange one. But you can see something that is being built by no code, low coders already. So in terms of salary, it depends, but you usually if you know a business process, let's say I'm good at I know a manufacturing process, right? You can be hired as BA, but if you have a practice or you know a tool on how to translate your business process to a working application already, then that's going to be an add-on. But if a from scratch citizen developer, yes, there's a practice. Of course, it's going to be above minimum, and it depends. It depends.
yeah, I would probably touch on dun sa salary. Kasi salary might be parang one-sided. Kasi parang you see like the cost savings of probably not hiring a pro coder, di ba? And probably parang like streamlining yung tools ninyo. And also apart from like the cost savings, like imagine you don't need to like talk to other people to have them develop your stuff. Parang you just have to probably learn the tool and like do it on your own, and then you can introspect na eh. Parang you don't outsource the stuff, or probably minimal na lang yung outsourcing mo. So, but then again, I think the challenge here is not all or majority ng companies hindi pa alam nila the dynamics na how do we like normalize the okay, we have an accountant and we also need some like software development, but then again, okay, we have an accountant who's a citizen developer.
Yeah.
Tapos this is how much we pay him, this is how much we pay a developer. So how do we like paano natin compute yun? Which is I would say tricky, no?
Yes, actually, currently, sorry, just to add, currently there's no like job position that says citizen developer, right? As I mentioned, it's more of, let's say, you know what is a manufacturing process is. Let's say how to release flushing methods, etc. But your company doesn't have that, or your company that is trying parang kung saan ka nag-a-apply, then they need the system. You can apply there, right? As a manufacturer, BA, business analyst, or whatever you want to call that, and then introduce a citizen developer tool, and then create a simple system for them, something like that. But I think it's not really too early, but it's not yet that adapted, the terminology that says citizen developer.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would
if you will
probably consider
follow,
citizen
sorry,
developer.
if you will follow what we were saying when we started the activity, right? We're saying that technically, if you're using Excel, Power Pivot, macros, you're a citizen developer already. It's more of like just professionalizing it. I think it's not yet there.
Yeah, I would say like being a citizen developer is would say parang nasa tool set mo siya eh. Parang hey, I'm an accountant, I'm an architect, I'm an engineer, and I'm a citizen developer too. So I can leverage citizen development to actually enhance yung say productivity mo dun sa chosen profession. So but then again, like it's not ang hirap niya i-translate sa sahod eh. So, di ba, parang okay, you pay this much sa accountant, you pay this much. So parang it's and it's stressful, yeah.
Yeah, it depends kasi I can pay, let's say, I can pay accountant, that the CPA accountant that has a higher pay, but she has a citizen development background, so I'm gonna pay her higher, right? Something like that. Eh. But the baseline is not really because I'm a citizen developer, then you pay me this kind of amount. Yeah.
It's like you pay me this as a say medical professional, say accountant, engineer, an architect. Yun yung base mo pa rin. Kumbaga add-on na lang yung for as a citizen developer. So I think that's the question for the salary. I think that's the answer for the salary question. So right, and then yeah. So let's answer another one. So before we start the another question, we're gonna have a breakout room right after this one. So I'm gonna let you know, guys, after what we're gonna do in the breakout room, just to like give you a heads up. So right, the next one would be how customizable and secure are the tools, yeah, and platforms. I have no extensive experience among tools and platforms. So yeah, maybe you could like talk about it more.
Sure, yes. So is this how customizable and secure yung pagbibuild ng apps, right? Using low-code and code platform? Is this the question? Correct? Okay. Sure. So depends on which specific platform are you in, no? So technically, the security, it's gonna be subjective if you will answer it, since There are even non-low code, no code platform that are being compromised because of security, and it depends on which specific platform or you're hosting that inside your on-premise server or in cloud, etc. So that's gonna be a more in-depth discussion about security. But I can say already that, of course, because this is low code and no code, it's super customizable. Because whatever you can do, and let's say if you're an Android developer or if you're an iOS developer, whatever you can do there, you can do in low code to no code. It's just more, it's more advanced in terms of like, frameworks and libraries, etc. But let's say you're having the same objective of using a camera or using let's say a camera that can take picture and get the logs or the geolocation, geotagging, right? So this one, you can also capitalize on, Google APIs, etc. It's no difference. Like if you're coding into, again, Android, iOS versus a low code to no code platform. You can capitalize on existing API. So that's what I meant, that it's flexible and customizable. Right? Now, in terms of security, of course, as I mentioned, it depends on which platform are you using, right? For example, let's say I use WordPress, right? But if I don't know how to secure WordPress, then WordPress is not secured, right? If I'm hosting my own low-code to no-code tools in an on-premise server, so therefore I need to double down the security because I don't have people who's securing it, or do I have firewalls? Do I have blah blah blah, right? If we're talking about like compilation security, or maybe even injection inside your application, the safest way to not to have those injected script is using low code to no code, because at the end of the day it's compiled on the application layer already, right? Meaning, because you don't see the back end, as I mentioned, you don't see the coding or the scripting for a specific tool that you're using. So you cannot decompose that and put, let's say, a malware inside, or a script that will read your etc. etc. You can do that technically, yes, but it's gonna be more or less, no, you cannot do, because you cannot do more, because you don't do scripting at all, in a way, if you're doing the full application. So since you're limited to what you can do, and you don't see really the back end, and it's safer than creating or using an APK, right, that you don't know who made it, right? But if you know someone who share you, let's say in Power Platform, let's say a Power BI report, I shared it to you, I know that it's safe because I cannot inject anything inside Power BI, something like that.
Nice, yeah. I think siguro follow up on this. Pero this is siguro sagutin ko na rin. So the other parang facet of this, apart from security, is also compliance. Laging magkapatid yan eh. So security and compliance. So especially say for financial, if you're handling financial stuff, information, if you're handling like PII. So yung mga yun, so apart from yung mga SQL injection, mga yan, meron din mga PCI DSS or like credit cards and all. So those are laging ano yan eh, laging nandun naman. And I know for a fact that platforms are being certified or like tested. Okay, if you're gonna use this platform, we are ito ISO, whatever compliance there is. So you can do your research dun sa platform. So, but then again, you have to be sure kung ano yung problem na gusto mo i-solve. So if it involves compliance and all, you have to do your research na before like using the tool. So, and I think mature enough na yung mga tools to parang document na, okay, yeah, you're compliant on this. You can use this platform on this kind of application. So, yes, I think it's just a matter of looking na lang sa mga different platforms. So, I'm pretty sure comprehensive naman yung mga, well, I've read some, and yung documentation nila are comprehensive enough. So, and right, so let's end the first part of like the discussion now. So what we're gonna do is, or what I'm gonna do first is, I'm gonna send you a link to our Miro board. So this Miro board actually have two parts. So just a second, I'll just share the link quickly in the chat. Okay, so there are two parts here in the Miro board. So the first one is here. This is I would say impromptu networking, kind of. Ito. So what you're gonna do is drag nyo lang itong kung sticky notes. Medyo malaki lang. Okay, sige. Let's drag this sticky note. And for example, just put there your name or kahit ano na lang, your nickname, kunyari, Ultra. Then put in your role or profession, your Scrum Master, like that. Tapos, you can actually right-click it and add link or link to ito. So, what you're gonna paste there is your LinkedIn account if you prefer to. So basically, this is getting to know widening our network, so within the community. So especially the community is been just around for like a few months. So we're really trying to reach other people. So ayun, pwede rin kamukha itong ginawa ni Crystal. Pwede naglagay siya ng Twitter account niya. Pwedeng link. Pwede nyo i-paste yung actual na link. Pwede nyo i-link yung, lagyan yung link yung mismo post-it or sticky notes. So, right, I'll probably give you 2 minutes there. So, ayun. And we'll have some music muna. So, yun. You can like open the links na dun sa and add them sa LinkedIn or connection request. I'm gonna send again the link. Then again, for those na bago sa Miro, you can like drag and drop yung sticky notes galing sa gilid and put in your name, role, and the link to your social media, professional social media, or ngayon ba lang kung gusto yung lagay ng Instagram. Guys, please put in your profession. I mean, since we're on the topic of citizen development, it's important na alam natin yung context in the professional side. Right. So, I'm gonna let you guys do it like continuously throughout the activity, no? So, nandiyan naman yung link. You can always go back later. So, we're gonna proceed on the next activity, which is the breakout room. So, in the breakout rooms, you can also refer to the same mirror board sa baba niya. May ibang frame dyan for guide question. So, there are 4 questions here na pwede niyong sagutin, pwede niyong pag-usapan. But then again, it's up to you which of this you want to discuss. Siguro at least 2. So, after that, we're gonna ask some of you to share kung ano yung siguro 3 kung kung sino yung gustong mag-share later to talk about what they've discussed dun sa group. So we're gonna have it, I would say, 15 minutes for 4 to 5 people. Right, so let's have it 15 minutes, and then we're gonna go back and do a quick debrief, and then probably proceed into more Q&A. So I would say on this next Q&A, I would invite like the participants to unmute themselves afterwards. Pero sige, mamaya na yun. Let's do the breakout rooms now. So that is for 15 minutes. Again, these are the guide questions. I'm gonna post it here. Wait lang. Copy paste ko muna sa dito sa chat. What brings you to know Hold PH? Good journey. Ayun. Oh, wait. Oh, audio.
Moko, ayaw mo mag-join ng networking? Diyan ka ba?
Sorry, na-disconnect ako.
Ah, yun na ba tayo? Bumalik na ba lahat? Crystal, okay na tayo, no? Tama, wala. Yun. We're back. Yan. So, ayun. Kumusta naman yung ano? I hope nag-enjoy kayo dun sa breakout rooms. And you got to network and get to know someone else from the community. So, as I promised earlier, though, we're gonna ask three people to hopefully like turn on their camera and unmute themselves para mag-share ng experience nila or kung ano yung pag-usapan nila dun sa breakout rooms. So, ayun. I would open the floor uh, to anyone. Or mamimili ba kami? Actually, pwede tayong mag-lang. Breakout room. Okay, from breakout room number 6. So anyone from number 6? Wala. How about number 5? Oh, wait. Nakita ko si Rod.
Hi, not sure kung kami yung 6.
Dun ka sa 6.
Okay. Sige, i-share ko na lang siguro yung medyo parang general consensus ng breakout room namin. So, sa amin si Sunny and si Patricia. So, kaming tatlo ay coming from a no-code background. So, we answered the question, what brings you to no-code Philippines? So, most of us, or siguro at least kami ni Patricia, ay mga career changers. So, we entered No Code Philippines to, of course, learn no code, and then to also be made aware of the opportunities for no code and people who are supporting no code developers. And so it's more of the camaraderie side and the business side kung bakit kami sumali sa No Code Philippines.
Alright. Thank you, Ralph. Okay, sige. So, again, siguro 2 more. Hindi na ako magtatawag ng room. Ayan, dahil may nagsimula na. So, anyone? Yan lang. You can do what Ralph did earlier na mabilisang summary lang. Hello. Wala pa? Sige. Anyone from room 4? Or nakalimutan nyo na yung numbers? Number. Okay. Sige. Room 5. Wala din. Okay, mukhang nakalimutan yung number. Sige. For room 5, we have Ian, Ingrid, Jaya, Judd, and Windel. So, anyone from you guys?
Si Aya. Si Aya na.
Ayun. Ayun, tinuro. May tinuro.
Si Jaya. Hello. Go
Hello.
ahead.
Ayun, yung
Ayun
sa
na.
amin, bali ako, napunta ako sa no-code kasi sa work related din siya. Tapos, si Ingrid naman, ngayon volunteer din siya sa no-code PH. And then, sino yun? Wait lang. Si Jude, sorry, nakalimutan ko.
Hindi, sige, okay lang. Summarize na lang yung napag-usapan niyo. Or ano yung...
Ayun. Hindi kami natapos, hindi natapos yung kay Windel. Bali yung kay Windel naman, na-invite siya dito sa No Code PH. Ayun, yun lang naman. Thank you.
Thank you, Jana. Oh, last one. Wala na. Regardless of room. Wala na. Kahit sino.
Magtawag ka na lang ng pangalan, Master. Para mapilitan.
Wala ba? Sure kayo? Sige. Sa room number 1. Guys, huwag niyo papayayin room natin. Yung mga kasama ko sa room kanina. Wala. Oh, Hyra, Martin, or Rod sa room number 1. Wala. Okay. Sa room number 2, si JC or si Benz?
Hello, my name is
Yun.
Ricky. I am in room number 2 and nag-one-on-one lang kami ni Vince. So, masaya kasi dalawa lang kami. So, what brings you to No Good Philippines? Kasi si Crystal yung boss ko and since boss ko siya, I should be part of No Good PH. But kidding aside, I'm a developer and I ventured to No Good PH because I want to be holistic. I want to develop more apps. And then parang gusto ko lang i-expand yung horizon ko. Hindi lang siya sa coding but then to no-code development as well. So and since Crystal yung boss ko, I ang founder ng No Code PH, thus dapat yung mga mga alipin niya, kami, ay part din ng No Code PH. So hindi ko alam kung ano sasabihin ng boss ko, pero yon. So that's what brought me to No Code Philippines.
Thank you for your service daw, Crystal. Okay, thank you sa mga nag-share, no? So, ang nag-share ay si Ralph, si Jaya, and si JC. Mabibigyan kayo ng no-code merch. Please email us or me and Crystal at tama ba? .ph. Bigay ko na lang yung email namin. Email nyo kami yung t-shirt. Oh, yan. So, ayun, support at no-code.ph. So, please reach out to us. So, kami nang bahala sa shirt dito. Hindi ko alam yung sa shipping. Crystal, tayo na ba sa shipping? Sa atin na rin, di ba? Ayun. So, congrats, Ralph, Jaya, and JC. Ayun, sabi na daw yung shipping. Nice. Free shipping. Lazada, living. Joke lang. Okay. So, let's proceed to the next part na nung Q&A natin, actually. So, again, puntahan natin yung... Okay. So, alam ko anonymous tong mga to, pero I would open the floor to those who ask the question, to ask them personally. So, sige. Okay. Sige, si Jace. Jace. Nandiyan ka ba, Jace? Wala si Jace. Wala siya. Okay. Sige, next na lang. What is your most recommended no-code platform? Sino nagtanong nito? Or does it defeat the purpose of being anonymous? Okay, ayun, si Windel. Go, Windel. You can, parang unmute naman and ask the question if you want to modify something to the question mo. And also to give us more context.
Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon to everyone. Yeah. Kasi a bit of background on my question, no. Because I have like some ideas on what to do as an MVP, no. Because I was thinking of publishing something, but I actually don't know which platform is best to develop an app or a website that would be easy for me, given that I have no programming background. So I'm still learning the ropes now of all of those platforms. But I'm getting confused which one to choose. So yun, what one criteria would be easy to implement, and because there are a lot of technical knowledge that I honestly lack, no, on how to address those. So what I do is study those technical terminologies, then go back and then apply. Then I encounter another technical issue, and then go back again, study it again. So it defeats the purpose for some platforms, no, like Flutter. It's billed as, or it's advertised as no code, or low code, but it's very technical pa rin somehow for me. So yun. And Webflow, yung integration between Zapier, Airtable, linking those different aspects or applications are quite difficult for me. So yun.
Siguro before we proceed to answer the question, what kind of product are you looking into creating? Kasi it depends eh. There are tools that are like better suited for this. Yun. So maybe yun nga, Flutter didn't fit your product because it doesn't really like offer yung ano. So because it would help us to like answer your question better. Okay, if you're like more into finance, e-commerce or something. So like any like ballpark, ano yung mga gusto mong like i-pursue na product or at least yung industry.
Well, siguro, one of the ideas that I have no is like a location-based uh, uh, application where parang idea ko is if I'm going to Taguig and I want to eat, I want to see what parang Yelp siya, but it's more of like location based. I can see some enterprise application for that. And inisip ko how to monetize that no now. But it's more of I can't I don't know how to integrate the maps part sa application and then link it to like a service. Parang it's more of like a social media na may location function, parang ganon. So I can see it in my head but I can't put it in the application, no? So yun. But as a background, I've been a banker for 10 years and I want to shift my career towards technology. So I don't see myself being a banker until I retire. So that's it. So it's more of exploring other industries.
Right. Ayun, thanks, Wendell. Yeah, I think that gives us enough information to help you out, like answer it. But yeah, what do you think about it, Paul?
Yeah, so I'm gonna be super biased if I answer what specific tool, but there's a lot of tool that you can use. Wendell, no, let's say Bubble.io, maybe WordPress. Our platform is there, but it's gonna be more on enterprise cloud system. But mapping this specific, again, user story and design that you need, it's a matter of you. Most of, if you're using the correct tool, most of them can really integrate Google Maps if you're trying to do location based. So your architecture supposedly you need a map, then just learn about doing geolocation or geofencing if you're trying to create that. So it's not that hard to learn it. It's more of like just putting the what do you call this, the GPS position, right? The X and Y, or the, I just forgot the term, the axis, etc. But technically, for me, it's more of like you learning the like fundamental of this of what do you want to use. I don't think you can really pull that off if you're thinking of doing it faster in a way if you don't really know the tool perfectly or if you're using it daily, right? A tool also that has a super large community is gonna help you. So usually in every other tool meron yan mga forums that you can do tambay, no? But again, as I mentioned, you really need to spend a lot of time to master a specific tool. And if you do that, go with like geolocation, geofencing to be specific on your answer, because you need to understand the concept of how to geofence, on how to geolocate, on how to do, you know, longitude, latitude. That's what I'm trying to like push, and integrating that to your activity inside your application. But yes, if you're using, let's say I think Airtable, I just don't know 100% if you can do that there, but Airtable for me is like a Excel on steroids, like Smartsheet and some other, you know, you can do workflow generation there. If you're gonna, depends on how you architect it, but let's say for example you just need a directory, then you put maps and location there. Yes, you can do that there. But let's say I want a kind of like a waste kind of thing, that if I'm here in this location, the nearest will be not the app will notify me to tell me that I'm in the nearest restaurant, etc. So that would need a lot of like in a way alteration or modification to what we're trying to create, but spending time really to the tools that you really wanna parang use will help you a lot. Siguro spend more time on it, and being talagang like every day. Kasi even in coding, just so you know guys, like if you don't code every day, you're not gonna make it, right? So it's like in citizen development, still the same. You need to do it every day. You need to really have a specific goal, and yeah, spend more time out of it.
Yeah. It's like use it or lose it. Right. Just to add siguro on the geo location, I think Paul, you're talking about reverse geocoding, yung longitude papuntang location. Yeah, that's reverse geocoding. I actually able to use that ang gamit kaya make. Nakalimutan ko yung lumang pangalan ng make eh. Before siya maging make. Tapos, yeah, and also Google Maps has like an extensive but still under ayun Integromat tama. Thanks Crystal. So, meron siyang comprehensive but still understandable documentation. But then again, I'm saying this with the background of I know how to read APIs, I know like uh, how do we design yung request and responses and all. So again, we need to go back on yung mga basics of like a software. So apart from knowing the product you want to make, knowing like no code is not no development. I mean, you still need to know the basics of like software development, so how APIs work, how databases work. So I would suggest like on top dun sa sinabi ni Paul, you have to know the basics muna. Ano yung mga components ng software. I mean, yes, you can use the tools na no code, pero hindi mo siya magagamit if you don't know like how the components interact with each other. So siguro I would go back na talaga dun sa basics na how a software works. So probably, okay, ito. Okay, pwede na palang i-address ito ng platform. Okay, I have a missing component na, okay, yung reverse geocode ko, I need to outsource it somewhere. How do I integrate that? So those are the like complicated things that you need to be aware of before actually doing development, regardless if it's no code or like traditional development. So as Paul mentioned, we have to do the work talaga, yung real work. So apart from doing it every day, siguro the other facet of it is sometimes you don't know where to start. So ang cheat code dyan is to find a mentor. So if this is actually promote to yung community, is actually the purpose of the community is to help like anyone who needs or who wants to explore no code, no? Kasi ang hirap na you have the will, you have the motivation, but you don't know where to start. So this is why this kind of community exists. So ayun, it's not a straight, there's no straight answer to this, Wendell, actually. Medyo marami sa ano. Pero ayun, I would invite you to like attend more of this, and I think nag-drop ng email si Crystal ng yung sa support at NoCodePH. If ever na kailangan mo ng tulong into learning this kind of stuff, please email us. So ayun, siguro Wendell, yeah, a few words from you before we move to the next question.
Yeah, thank you. Also, where can I find those for someone with no background though, where can I find the materials to learn? Yeah, the resources to learn of the stuff that you mentioned though.
sobrang dami. Wait, malista. Ano, you could like reach out to me sa LinkedIn. Just like find my name. Like Russell na lang. So, sige. I'll drop my LinkedIn na lang din. Ayan. Ako lang naman. I'll drop my LinkedIn sa chat. So, just message me there so I can answer your question.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Moving on. Next one. Okay. This is again. This might be for Crystal na your question. So, are there places and companies in the Philippines that offer no-code training and workshops? Crystal, ipapasa ko sa iyo to.
Magkakaroon. Yeah, kami. So we're gonna offer that. Stay tuned sa noko.ph.
Yes. So, ayun. So, I think we're planning it like it's sometime soon. Very, very soon. But apart from us dito sa Crystal sa Philippines, do we have any other organizations?
That offer training and workshops. Hacktive with Paul.
Well,
Yeah.
ayun na. Promote na natin yung Active Call.
Yeah, Base Ups PH, we do like, we have global power platform training, but again, it's super very product centric. Sorry for that. Since I really like, curry in being an ambassador for Microsoft Power Platform and Base Ups, but I'll coordinate with Crystal and Russell about this if we have an incoming event. But usually we do power up, like say app in a day, dashboard in a day. So those kind of training can also help you.
That smells like a design sprint up there. So, okay. Ayan. So, ayan yung sagot na. So, no code PH and Active collab with probably other big companies din soon. So, please stay tuned sa social media pages sa Facebook, sa Twitter, and sa LinkedIn. Meron ba tayong Instagram? I don't know. I think wala. So, yeah, those three platforms. Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Ayun, meron din kaming IG pala. Tsaka website. So, yes. Meron din palang YouTube. Yan. Kulang na lang yata TikTok. So, okay. Siguro, this is the last question actually na dito. Dahil wala si GC. So, is it possible to be a citizen developer freelancer? Sino yung nagtanong nito? We'd like to know more. Ano yung, like, what are the reasons behind the question? Wow. Anyone? May tanong? Okay, sige. Zero, let's like play it by ear. So, I think when you mean like a citizen, ang hirap na, ang hirap mag-speculate sa tanong na ito. Does it, di ko sure if citizen developer ba yung meaning niya or like a no-code developer, because that might be like two different things. Siguro let's probably answer that on those concepts.
Sige, I have a couple of like, in a way, experience about this. So again, choosing a tool, very specific tool, let's say Power Platform, Bubble.io, Smartsheet, Airtable, whatever. If you go to Upwork, you can see a lot of like, company that hires freelancer. If I'm again, as mentioned by Girasa, it's not very. This is not a very specific question of like low code, no code ba or blah blah blah, but citizen developer. So yes, the answer is yes, it's possible. But some tips no before you jump. So number one, master a specific tool. Just go to Upwork now and you can search about this company's hiring freelancer about yun nga, maybe Power BI, etc. And every tool that I was mentioning, at least every one of them has a free, community licenses, no? Kasi to be honest, some of the low code and no code, almost of them are in a way proprietary, di ba? That hindi siya open source like whatever we have in terms of like, we're doing traditional and hard code development. So technically, there are like free as well na it's there are so many, but choosing ano ba gusto mong explore and also ano ba gusto mong i-master. I'm not saying don't learn two tools or whatever, but more of like mastering your your master platform. And then yung katulad ng question kanina, like how do I integrate it to Google, to etc. And then from there, mastering a specific set of tools na under one platform, then you try to add on, right? Connecting to this API, connecting to that API, etc. Then you'll go to advanced level of mastery. Then you'd go to a more consulting practice, like again, as I mentioned, what problem to be solved, design thinking, let's say in an e-commerce practice or vertical, etc. But the answer is yes, just go to Upwork and you can see a lot of non-technical, non-coding work that is being offered there.
Actually, what I already seen is free that fits the exact bill ng citizen developer na freelancer is actually a virtual assistant. I know a lot of my friends who does a lot of like all imaginable jobs for, let's say, a certain like company. So they do like Photoshop, like they do like somewhat of like nag-WordPress sila, ganun. So that already is there na. So kumbaga, yeah, citizen developer ka as a virtual assistant. So kumbaga yung yeah.
Yeah, just to add that, this is a very good example. So but we have I know like 3-4 people that came from banking industry that that was disrupted when pandemic happened. Kasi nga walang ano yan, walang physical, etc. So and you can see also that there's a lot of jobs na nalilay off, right? So I know like 3-4 of them studied let's say data scrubbing, using a specific tool, web scraping, if I'm gonna be super specific. Like may mga companies that, okay, you need to scrape the web for you to be able to get contacts. Kasi, di ba, they're selling contacts, something like that, or content. So, yeah, so those are kind of like a citizen developer job that you don't need to be super technical, but you need to learn a specific set of tool. It can be Power BI or Excel or a web scraper, and combining those tools for you to be able to master that specific role or job. And as I mentioned, this 4-person, 3 to 4 person that I know, they don't have any technical background. Like teller level, ganyan, teller level, yung isa is receptionist level, something like that, but they learn via YouTube. So, yep.
Yun, di ba? I mean, going back to the context ng citizen developer, parang you're applying your profession sa tech. Parang you're a professional first, then a developer second, and then you parang pinagsasama mo sila, di ba? So, yun. And I think that's the last question. I would probably invite any last minute questions from the audience and participants. Going once, going twice. Oh yeah. Wait, I heard someone. What's that?
Me, sir.
Ayun, si Sunny. Ayun. Nice. Yeah, Sunny. Do you have any question?
yung sa mga tools, possible ba yung parang ano, parang Fiverr ang dating na application na ma-create using this no code? Like merong payment system, then yung mapping din, gano'n. Hello?
Basically like a WeChat kind of model. Parang ganyan.
Parang meron siyang tasking, tapos yung mga user, pwede silang mag-put ng mga kaya nilang gawin. Tapos based on location, depende kung anong gusto nila, online or person to person. Like kunyari bibili ng gamit or may bibiling ganito, ganyan. Parang ano
But,
siya, online and pwedeng in person or
but you're trying to create a messaging tool, Sunny, no? Gusto mo gamitin messaging platform. Tama.
ano sir, parang ano siya, parang work ano siya, parang Fiverr ang dating, parang
Fiber. Sorry.
parang ganun.
Sorry, kala ko Viber.
Hindi sir,
Yeah.
parang Fiverr sir,
Alright.
parang ganun.
Fiverr. Yeah,
Fiber.
yeah.
Yeah. Kala ko rin.
Ganun, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ako, sorry, just to answer Russell na kasi parang
Yeah, go ahead.
yes, definitely that's something that you can create in at ano lang naman yan eh, it's not that hard, 'di ba? Kasi it's more of application, it's more of like posting jobs, 'di ba? And yeah, I mean even the simple WordPress site can get you 'di ba to that specific application that you want to use.
Okay sir. Sige
So,
sir.
kala ko kasi messaging platform. So, when you say messaging platform, it's gonna be super complicated. In fact, even a developer, if it doesn't have a proper knowing of like Azure communication, AWS tools, etc., the communication tools, telephony, etc., it's gonna be harder to create your own messaging platform. But like a work, hiring, etc., I think that's easy. You can do.
Yeah.
Parang
Yeah.
ano siya sir, kunwari magpo-post yung customer ng ganito, gusto niya na may papabilin siya, ganyan. Tapos kung sino yung mas malapit,
Yep.
kung sino yung mas malapit, kukunin yung task na yun. Then siya na yung gagawa, tapos iaabot dun sa customer, tapos babayaran through GCash, mga ganun. Possible ba yung ganong app?
I actually personally know an organization who already done that. So it is possible using, hindi naman technically no code. I would say low code. So
Low code
search
siya,
mo
sir.
yung Rocket PH. Yeah, they're based here. I mean, yung development team nila is based here in Pampanga.
Meron na palang idea na ganito. Iniisip ko pala.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah, just to add lang yung tips, no, parang
Pasabay.
there are parang yes, the concept is good and something like that, no, but if I'm gonna wear my, let's say you want to really have parang like it's gonna be 5 years, 6 years from now that you're still gonna run that business, then it's impossible already for a low-code, no-code platform to hold on, diba? Kasi the scale, of course, if we're talking about 5,000, 6,000 of users already, you need to really go with an enterprise kind of development. Yun lang yung tips ko. I'm not even saying this to Sunny, no, but if some people here, you have an idea to really create a consumer app, in the first like MVP up to up to beta, up to your like first few thousands customer, then I think it will work. But if we're talking about really a massive as a CTO, no, I would not recommend using low code no code platform for that.
Okay
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
So there's a
Good thing,
limits for the users po. Parang ganun.
Yeah. I would say the technology of no code and low code isn't, wala pa siya dun sa dun sa level na it can serve the demand of like large scale. So, which actually leads me, okay, last na lang to. Actually, this is a really good question sa chat. So I see that no code is the how to get the apps done. But in learning no code, is it important for first to know which market or industry to serve before learning the technical aspect of it? So just to reframe it, uh, is it important to know the what before the how? So siguro ang short answer ko is yes, because you have to make sure na relevant yung i-build mo. So again, we don't want to we want to like minimize the waste then and yung effort, diba? So yes, it is very important. So please do don't develop anything if you don't know what kind of problem or what kind of product you want to deliver to the customer. So yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Siguro short advice. If I'm gonna wear my entrepreneurship or entrepreneur hat here, the problem is, but I mean, Philippines, no, in 2025, we will be around 95 million users in terms of smart and mobile device. That's mobile device. I'm not even talking about IoT or something like that, but mobile device. And there's a lot of opportunity there, right? Since Filipino, in fact, in if I'm gonna go to NFT and crypto as reference, we're still in the top 10 in the world that has this adaptability to this new technology. However, there's a lot of things to consider. As mentioned by Grasso, don't create it while you don't have a research, etc. Uh, and the consumer market is very saturated, especially here in the Philippines. Meaning when I say if you're gonna create another e-commerce platform that's still gonna compete with Lazada and Shopee, then it's not about like a discussion of whether you use low code and no code, or even if you have 5,000 developer, because this kind of platform like e-commerce, etc., is super hard to penetrate already, since there are a lot of players already in this space. Meaning you're considering not only technical costs, paying servers, paying developers, or even low coders, but are you able to compete in the marketing of, diba, of this? In business, we're, especially in the consumer side, I always research about the barrier to entry. How much it is for me to spend as marketing, diba, parang, how much for me to get Grassel to onboard in my platform? Let's say, do I need to spend 5 pesos? Kasi like si Lazada, saka sila Shopee, they're spending 400 per person kasi free shipping, ganyan. So can you level that kind of like marketing? So I'm not saying stop what you're doing, but think creatively on how you will penetrate a specific market, and if you have the firepower to do it. It's because if you start that, then I'm not only about wasting money, it's also wasting the time, wasting your time if you're going to that specific market. Thank you.
Ay, wait. Yun. So, right. So, we're down to the last few minutes. So, right. Again, thank you, Paul, for having us or uh, having to accommodate this talk and activity for the No Code PH this January. So it has been a privilege for us and sharing your expertise. There will be always a next time, so we'll see each other. So and then yeah, just a quick promotion. We'll be having next. There's actually a Techstar Startup Weekend in February. Uh, okay, here it is. So that's on February 10 to 12. So we'll be there, and we're gonna have 30-minute talk slash workshop. So we're not sure yet who's gonna be the speaker. Might be me, Crystal, or any of the organizing team, but we'll be there. So please go to this uh, link and we have actually a discount code for no code PH for $500. So please use discount code no code PH. Discount code no code PH. So yeah, that's gonna save you $500. Again, this is on February 10 to 12. It's a 3-day affair. So it's mishmash of probably a hackathon and a design sprint. So a hackathon usually lasts for 24 hours, and a design sprint usually lasts for 5 days, and this is 3 days, so it's something in between. So yeah, I'll be personally there, so say hi if you ever see me. So, and we have a lot of other activities lined up. So please go to our social media. We have Facebook, we have NoCodePH, the website, LinkedIn account, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. So that's 6 social media platforms. And yeah, I think that's all for this session today. And I'll be seeing you the next time, everyone. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
I can leave now. I'm good.